Angelina Jolie is reportedly going through a tough time as her children grow up and begin to lead independent lives. The actress, who has 6 children, is struggling with the emotional challenges of empty nest syndrome, a condition that many parents face when their children leave home and begin to live on their own. According to a source close to the actress, Angelina has been particularly affected by her son, who recently took over her New York City apartment. The apartment, once a home for the entire family, has now become a crash pad for the children whenever they are in town, but the emotional toll on Angelina is undeniable. A source revealed that it was especially painful for the actress when one of her children chose not to see her during a visit. She tried to laugh it off, but the situation left her heartbroken. It served as a harsh reminder that her children, now grown, are no longer dependent on her in the same way they once were. Despite her struggles, Angelina is reportedly trying to cope with the changes. The actress, known for her devotion to her children, would love to move all of them to New York and get a place big enough to accommodate everyone. However, that plan isn't feasible at the moment. A source mentioned that the timing is complicated, as her younger children, Knox and Vivienne, still have a couple of years before they reach adulthood. Until then, moving to New York with all of her children isn't an option. The transition has left Angelina feeling isolated and lonely, as she navigates life without the constant presence of her kids. As they become more independent, spending time away from her, she's finding it harder to adjust to life on her own. According to sources, she's been struggling to fill the void left by her children's absence. They're leading their own lives now, and while that's natural for them to do, it has left Angelina in a place of emotional turmoil. In the past, much of Angelina's energy and focus have been on her children, as she dedicated herself to raising them through their formative years. Now that they are becoming more self-sufficient and less dependent on her, the actress feels lost. She's had difficulty creating a life for herself outside of her role as a mother, and with her children moving on, she's grappling with feelings of loneliness and uncertainty. Sources close to Angelina have noted that this period of transition has been particularly challenging for her, as her identity was so deeply tied to her role as a mother. With her children becoming independent and moving out, she's had to face a new chapter in her life, one that she wasn't fully prepared for. The empty nest syndrome, which affects many parents when their children leave home, has become a real issue for the actress, and she's struggling to find new meaning and purpose now that her family dynamic is changing. Angelina's situation is not unique. Many parents, especially those who have invested so much of themselves into raising their children, experience feelings of loss and loneliness when their kids start to become more independent. However, for someone like Angelina, whose career has often placed her in the public eye, this struggle is even more noticeable. While she is an accomplished actress, humanitarian, and advocate, her primary focus has always been her children. Now that they are growing up and leaving home, she's finding herself at a crossroads, unsure of what comes next. As she navigates this difficult period, Angelina may find solace in her work or in her ongoing commitment to her humanitarian causes. However, the emotional weight of this transition is something that will likely take time for her to process fully. For now, she's doing her best to cope with the changes, but the struggle is undoubtedly a difficult one for the beloved actress and mother.